My name is DeVon Nolen.
And how are you involved with urban agriculture?
Oh
What's your
boy,
connections?
lots and lots of ways. I grow food. I've always grown food. I come from a long generation of generation of growers, and I have been supporting and running farmers markets here in Minnesota. This will be my 13th season. I'm with the People's Market in BLS. I also have the privilege of doing policy work around urban agriculture, so help in partnership with Representative Karen Clark and Elder Michael Cheney, wrote some of the first urban ag policy in the state many, many years ago, and learned a lot just about how urban agriculture it's evolved, I would say, since then, but that there's still more work to do. I think sometimes the connotation of urban, people disconnect that from the fact that that just means food, essentially, right? That it can be rural food, it can be urban food, but it's all food. And that urban agriculture actually feeds the folks who produce the food, if you will, right? So the farmers and growers, whether they are growing for consumption or for sale, or if they're growing commodity crops, all those people still have to eat.
Absolutely. So, what are some things that help you in supporting, like getting these urban markets going and the farming, and what are some things that you still need?
The things that help me, I would say, are the people. All the power lies with the people. Anytime I'm in a gardening community or I'm at the farmer's market or wherever I am, there's always someone who shows up and they're curious about what's happening, if they can pick, offering their knowledge about how to prepare it. So just really dispelling the myth that poor people and black people don't want to eat healthy and that we don't want access to healthy food. It's really about reclamation. These are our own ancient ways of knowing and being. We've been living off the land for many, many years. We are not defined by chattel slavery. We were living off the land before that. And so that gives me a lot of hope to know that we are in a position to write our own narrative and tell the truth about our own history. And a need, I would say, maybe just for folks to just be intentional about what they do. Oftentimes, my community is the one who's being researched or is the subject matter of said research. But not always the benefactor of what comes out of that data or that information or those resources. And lastly, just understanding that we are the masters of our own destiny. We know exactly what we want. Don't keep asking us if you're going to not produce it in the end, right? Or don't keep asking us the same questions and you haven't responded to the first ones. So that's why I asked those questions initially about how this information will be used and where it will land. So this is all about fighting for freedom and liberation.
Absolutely. And what is a question that you think people don't ask enough of?
Say that again?
What is it, you mentioned like questions that are asked too often, but what's something that's not asked enough of?
What do you need? It's that simple. I often ask people that question, or what do you want, right? Oftentimes those who are being oppressed are going to resist in different ways, and oftentimes we are trapped in that cycle of having to fight oppression and don't have the privilege, luxury of thinking about what we actually want and what we need. So it allows you to slow down in your thinking and be present in the moment and really do a quick evaluation. And sometimes the answers are astounding. Sometimes there's no answer. That's alarming to me.
So what is like one takeaway that you want people that don't know about urban ag or don't know about growing nearby? What's one thing you want them to know?
What would I want them to know? I guess it would depend on the audience, but I think I said it earlier, just that the power lies with the people, whether those people are the folks growing the food, processing, serving your food, whether they're the policymakers deciding where we get to grow food, whether they are people in our community who are saving seeds and passing that knowledge on food preservation. Like at the core of it, food is sacred and it touches every vein of our lives, it touches every culture, and the more we can get back to our humanity and food as the great connector rather than what divides us and what makes us different, that we can forge this new society that I dream about a lot. Because this one is not necessarily serving everyone that it should be serving, so I think we need to think about dreaming about building a new one.
All right, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share?
No, thank you for this
Thank you
opportunity
so
to share.
much.